Are you trying to figure out how to get rid of toilet stains? I have some on this toilet here, and yesterday my toilet was leaking water, and so I decided to address the stain issues while I had to replace the rubber ring that was underneath there, and I figured it out, and I want to share it with you guys today. First of all, hi to all the new dads out there. This is Dad Reviews. This is where I give you my unedited, hopefully more authentic look at the products that I like, use, and have, and that work on my toilet. So if you're interested in that, you might want to consider clicking that subscribe button. So we have hard water. We're down here in Louisiana, and in our toilets, they always get this buildup right here of this like calcium stuff, and it doesn't come off. I've tried everything to get this stuff off. He touched the toilet with his finger without wearing a glove. And I know you guys probably think, ew, that's so gross. I cleaned the heck out of this toilet before I shot that video. And that buildup that y'all saw was the mineral deposits from the water sitting in the toilet. And those I just could not get rid of, and I just wanted to show you guys what I was looking at. So the toilet was really clean before I actually touched it. I know some of you guys might think that that's super gross. I washed my hands afterwards. We're totally fine there. I've tried the vinegar, I've tried the lemon stuff, I've tried a pumice stone, I've tried filing it down, I've tried everything to get rid of this stuff, and I finally discovered how to get rid of it. And the trick is this stuff right here. It only costs like less than 10 bucks. I'll link it up down in the description below. But it's muriatic acid. Now you have to be careful with this stuff. It's a hydrochloric acid, so it's gonna eat away at things, and so you wanna make sure that you have all the safety precautions that you can. So we have safety goggles here, we have the mask here. I got a ton of comments talking about my dust mask that I was wearing. Try and say that 5 times fast. Dust mask. That's hard to say. I admit that I was using the wrong mask. I didn't realize this until you guys mentioned it to me in the comments, but what you really need is a respirator to go on your face to protect you from the fumes if you're worried about that type of stuff, which I'd highly recommend. Disclaimer though, that I'm not a medical person or anything like that, so don't do anything stupid. This is, how about entertainment purposes only, informational purposes only. There we go. So, note to there, use a respirator. I'll link up one that someone suggested down in the comments below. I even have some rubber gloves here as well, or if you prefer, you can get something a little bit more heavy duty like that. And what we're gonna do to make this happen is first we have to turn off our main water supply to the toilet. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that right down here. We're gonna take this on down, and we're going to turn our valve right here so you can't turn it anymore. Now, what you wanna do from here is you want to simulate a flush in the toilet. That way we get rid of all of the water that's in the toilet so that we can get the acid down into there and for it to have enough room to do its work. So what we want to do is simulate a flush by taking a bucket. I've got this bucket right here. It looks like a Halloween bucket that we had. And I filled it with a bunch of water. And I'm just gonna really fast pour the water into the toilet, and then the toilet's gonna flush all on its own because of that jet power going down into there. It creates enough pressure to be able to get the water down. So here we go. Boom. And so now the tank doesn't have to refill, so because none of the water's still in there and we turned off the valve. So now that we have that, we want to mix up our hydrochloric acid. We're going to do 2 things, by the way, with the hydrochloric acid. There's 2 places that you need to put it to be able to get a good, clean flush. And another reason why you want to take care of this buildup is because down here, where that hole is, that's where water shoots out of, and that's what makes the toilet flush. So if your toilet's not flushing, it's just kind of swirling, but it never goes down, it's because that hole right there is clogged up and it doesn't have enough jet power to be able to shoot water back to there to be able to let the toilet flush. And this buildup can cause that to happen. So what we want to do is clean all that out. Also, all up underneath here too, we want to clean out all this as well. And I'm going to show y'all how to do that today. What we want to do is, first of all, let's put on all of our safety stuff. You also want to ventilate the room if you can, so let's go ahead and turn on a vent. This is not going to be good for the video, but we're going to do it because I don't want to die. Let me know down in the comments below, what things have you guys tried to get rid of hard water stains? Catherine Quigley said a bottle of Snowball would be so much easier. It's corrosive, thick liquid toilet bowl cleaner. No mess required, not nearly as dangerous. My mother actually used it once to clean the lime scale from a car radiator. Very hard to find in stores now, but I bought a case from Ace Hardware online. I recently cleaned the lime scale from a very old cast iron bathtub. Had to soak it a couple times due to the thickness of the scale, but looked brand new when I finished. She said it's hard to find. If I can find it, I'll link it up down in the description below for you guys. It sounds awesome. I've never heard of that before. I'd be curious from you guys if you guys have ever used this Snowball stuff before. But that's exactly what we're dealing with here, is that lime scale and those mineral deposits that get stuck because you have hard water in your house. Another option, somebody else mentioned this, to fix the hard water problem is to get a filter, a whole house filter put onto your main water line coming in. So if I can find that too, I'll link that up down in the description below as well. And you guys can kind of pick and choose what you think is going to be best for your situation. All right, our next comment said, Tatsu Cook said, steel wool. No. This and a pumice stone you do not want to use on your toilet because it's too abrasive and it's actually gonna destroy that film coating that's on your toilet, and then stuff can get stuck into there because it's gonna become more porous. So that is something that you do not want to do, and if you do it and it gets bad enough, you may have to replace your entire toilet. So I would not recommend steel wool, and I will not be linking that down below. The next one comes from Christian Cohen. He said, I used it too. I tried Barkeeper's Friend, Wink the Works, Bonamy, baking soda, and Comet. Muriatic acid also removes iron stains. So if you guys are having an iron issue with your stuff, it's stuff you want to clean, you guys can, looks like you can use muriatic acid on that as well. I haven't tried any of these other products that he listed there, but I will link them up if you guys want to go and check it out. I would suggest go and read some of the reviews on some of those products and see if anybody is talking about, you know, using it to get rid of lime scale or mineral buildups or iron deposits or whatever. I'm going to let you guys kind of go and do some research on that, since I had never really heard of any of those before besides Comet and baking soda. I do know that baking soda will neutralize the acid though. Ron Alseed said, Zep acidic toilet bowl cleaner contains muriatic acid. Always worked for me. It's a gel, so it sticks to the bowl, giving it time for the acid to work. I've heard of Zep before. I did not know that they had an acidic toilet bowl cleaner. So I'm going to link that up down in the description below if I can find it. That actually looks like a really good stuff. Like I said, I've heard of Zep before, and I know they make good cleaners. Actually, I have one of their spray bottles for whenever I'll spray in some other stuff. I just like to know what the percentage of the hydrochloric acid is in there. I think I was looking it up for somebody else in the comments. I want to say this is like a 31% muriatic or hydrochloric acid in the solution there. I don't have any definitive numbers on that. I looked all over the bottle for that, couldn't find anything. But I'd be curious to know what the Zep acidic toilet bowl cleaner stuff, how much hydrochloric acid is in that to be able to take care of these lime scale issues and whatnot. I've told you all the things that I've tried. They just haven't worked in the past. And so I looked and looked for the best solution that I could find. And yesterday it worked on the other toilet. Maybe at the end of this video I can go and show you guys what exactly I did there. Mask it staying on good. There we go. Fix It Yourself said, out of strange curiosity, what's the dust mask for? Like I said at the beginning of the video, totally my fault. Bad information out there. I'm here to correct that. You need a respirator. The dust mask won't do you any good. Alright, so I got them gloved up. I got my bucket. I'm going to reuse the bucket. And what you want to do is you want to put 5 parts 5 parts water to 1 part muriatic acid. So I'm going to fill this thing pretty high with water, and then I'm just going to fill the top with the acid. Now you want to put your acid in last. That way the acid won't splash back on you. If you put your acid in first and then you start dumping water in there, you might have some splashback, and you don't want that acid splashing everywhere. So I'm just going over here to the tub and I'm going to fill this thing up. Once y'all have that filled up, we're going to take our acid. I want to do this all in the tub. We're just going to pour some of this stuff right on into here. So we're making a dilution here of the acid. Like I said, you want to do a 1 part acid to 5 part water. That's probably about enough. the first thing that we want to do is just take that and dump it into the toilet. And that's going to let that acid start to eat away at some of that lime deposit to help clear it all out. So I'm just going to, now, you want to do this slowly. You don't want to pour it in fast like we did. One, you don't want it to splash back on you because it's hydrochloric acid. And two, you don't want to create another flush. You don't want the toilet to flush like we did with the beginning, just the plain bucket of water. Because if you do it too fast, it's going to flush and then your hydrochloric acid will be down the pipe, and that's not what you want. So we're just going to take our bucket and slowly but surely, we're just going to pour this right on in. Again, I'm keeping my distance. I still have all my safety features on, and I'm pouring it slowly. I'm trying to stand back pretty far so I don't get any splashback on me, and I have my gloves on. Now I'm noticing that I probably need just a tad bit more of the solution here because it didn't quite make it all the way up to the lime deposits. I want it to go as high as I can, but not too high, because then it'll be too much and you don't need all that. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more. I just added water to the bucket. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in as well, just to make it a little bit higher. There we go. Now, what you want to do is you need to let that sit in there for a good like 2 hours or so. You're gonna want to close your door, put a sign on it, close the seat if you have pets. That way your pets don't come in here and start drinking muriatic acid, because that'll kill them. You want to make sure nobody comes in and uses the bathroom. You just want to leave it alone. You want to let that acid work. Now, I mentioned that you also want to get up underneath here where those little holes are all the way around the toilet. The way we're going to do that is in the top of the tank here. We are going to pour some acid down this pipe right here. This is the water fill pipe. And what that'll do is that's the water that's going to go down the chutes here. And instead of water, since we're putting the acid is going to go down there, and it'll help clean out all the stuff that's in there. So we're going to take our acid, and we just want to slowly pour it right. You might want to get a funnel for this too if you're not as good of an aim. But you just want to get it right into that tube right there. You want to put a good bit in there. I don't really have an exact measurement for it. There you go. If y'all want to check out any of this safety stuff that I'm wearing too, the gloves, the mask, or the safety goggles, those are all linked up down in the description below. Y'all can go and check out some of that. And like I said, if y'all want to get some of this muriatic acid, you can get it on Amazon. I'll link it up down in the description below as well. The next one comes from Alcatraz. I would soak some toilet paper with full-strength acid and place the paper mache under the rim for it to work. Can be done on the toilet ring. It will stay put for a long time. So this is something that I actually want to try, because whenever I did my internal flush, I opened the tank and I poured some down the pipe in there. I was doing that to get rid of all the scaling and whatnot that was inside the pipes, but to have that underneath clean would be nice, and that is a great idea. I just need to get I want to get some heavier dutier gloves to be able to handle the muriatic acid and the toilet paper all mixed together, because I don't want to get that on my fingers. But that's, I think, is a great idea. Just make sure you have the proper protection in place to do that type of thing. That's going to sit there in that pipe there. It's going to go down through the toilet, through all of these little weeping holes right here. And throughout the time that you're letting it sit, the 2 hours or so, you might want to consider taking your toilet scrub brush and coming by like every 30 minutes or so, and just give it kind of a good scrubbing around. Make sure that the acid's actually touching the lime deposits so that it can start breaking it down. But if you guys want to check out the muriatic acid, I'll link it up down in the description below. and you guys can go and check out. There's plenty of other uses for it. Now, like I say, you just have to be careful with it. Let me know down in the comments below, what are some other great uses of muriatic acid? What Hank said, bogus man, why didn't you show the results? We want results here. I did, actually. It was in a part 2 video, because you guys need to neutralize your acid before you flush it, which we're going to talk about because somebody else left a comment about that. But if you guys want to see the results about how the first video ended up, seems like a lot of you guys didn't go and watch that, so I'll put it at the end of this video and down in the description below. Let's take a look at what we have here. I've let this sit for about 2 hours. I've been coming every 30 minutes or so and scrubbing it a little bit, just kind of break it up a little bit. And I'm ready to show you guys what it looks like. So let's go ahead and open up the toilet here. So as you can see, the water is very cloudy now, which is what you want, because it means that a lot of that lime stains and whatnot has been broken up. And it's now in the water and the hydrochloric acid. I've been having a little bit of trouble right about here. Just the lime deposits are really, really strong there. But I can tell just from what it was in the beginning, it's definitely gone down a lot. I've been trying to scrub it a little bit as much as I can. Just to kind of get some of that acid right there. And hopefully whenever we give the toilet a good flush, it'll kind of flush it out a little bit more as well. But I wanted to show you this before we did the flush of how clean it's really, really looking right here. I'm very pleased with this. Now, before you flush it, the other thing that you want to do is you need to neutralize the acid, because you don't really want to put, potent acid into your sewer pipes. Dude, the acid will also get rid of your cast iron sewer drains if you do it enough. Drano will also eat the cast and galvanize, but not a bad idea. The buildup is tough stuff. Plug the trap, remove your product, no worries. So again, I'm going to go back to neutralizing the acid. What you want to do is pour a ton of baking soda in there, although you got to be careful because you don't want it to overflow. What's going to happen is that whole baking soda and vinegar experiment where it bubbles up like a volcano, same thing's going to happen because you're neutralizing the acid. But once you do that, you should be safe to flush it down, and it shouldn't have any problems on your drains from my experience. I can't say from anybody else's experience. By the way, I heard this whole muriatic acid thing. I got this from a master plumber who wrote a blog article about it. If I can re-find that, it's been like a year since I made that video, but if I can find that, I'll link it up down in the description below. There's gonna be a lot of things in the links in the description if you guys want to go and check it all out. So if you guys need some baking soda, I'll link that up down in the description below. This stuff's super cheap, but you can see, can you see? I think you can see. Just by putting some of this in there, it's gonna start neutralizing the acid right away, and it really bubbles up a lot more than just regular, baking soda and vinegar. So you're gonna need a lot of this to really neutralize this acid. I think I read somewhere like probably a 1 pound box. So you just want to take this and really put it in there, let it bubble up. And I think that this will also help with the cleaning of it. The surface of the toilet is getting touched by all of this, all the acid and everything that's in here. So it's kind of another way to kind of clean it as well. You're going to want to keep adding until you don't see any more bubbles being formed in here whenever you pour it in like that. See? We are done now. So that acid is completely neutralized, and now we are ready to flush. I'm going to go ahead and give this a flush. There was a little bit more acid reaction that happened there, because remember, we poured some of that hydrochloric acid, that muriatic acid, into the toilet there, and it flushed it out. So now I just want to turn back on our water. The next one comes from James Humphrey. Says, muriatic acid in the rivers? Yes, if you don't neutralize it. If you flush it without neutralizing it, yes, you will have muriatic acid in the rivers, and that is no good. But if you pour some baking soda in there and you neutralize it, we should be good to go, should be safe. And we're gonna let the tank fill back up, and then once we let the tank fill back up again, we'll give it another good flush. You can see all of the water now coming out through. the weep holes there, and that'll help to kind of flush it out, get more of that acid working through the toilet pipes that are in there, and it'll make it, hopefully, get it cleaner than it already was. A lot of people are asking about septic tanks too. I do not have a septic tank on my house, so somebody was saying that muriatic acid would kill a lot of the bacteria that's in the septic tank that would use to break down the stuff that you flush down the toilet. So I cannot attest to this. Again, I would say that you probably want to neutralize the acid before you put it in there. You guys can go and read some of the comments either down below or on the previous video where they were talking about septic tanks. There was a good thread there. So you guys, if you have a septic system, you might want to go and check that out before you decide that you want to do this or not. As you can tell right down there, y'all can see that. That's a lime deposit that was stuck in the toilet. All these little black particles that you see all throughout here, those are all lime deposits that we have gotten off of the toilet now, and will hopefully be making our toilet work even better. Like I said, if you guys want to check out this muriatic acid stuff, I'll link it up down in the description below. It's super duper cheap. And then baking soda is super cheap. You probably already have that in your house, but if you need that too, I'll link it up. And if y'all want any of the safety gear that I have on and whatnot, I'll link all that up down in the description below as well. So we have toilet here. Let's flush it again. And look at how clean that looks. Look at that bowl, that is beautiful. Y'all can go back to the first video. Build up right here, down here. And how clean it looks now. We're just getting a better flush in there as well. So, do you guys have any other uses for muriatic acid? Marianne America says, I bought a new toilet. That's your other option. You can buy a new toilet. And Corruption says, has anyone tried using car wax after non-acid cleaning of the ring section? The comments or video I saw suggested that it works and it's less dangerous / risky than this method. I have not heard of putting a car wax finish after, but that's a great idea. If you do want to use that steel wool or a pumice stone, you can use that to kind of like basically scratch your toilet and to get it off. And then go back with a, I don't know how long the car wax would stay. I don't know how the car wax would work after so many flushes and stuff and scrubbing, you know, cleaning your toilet and all that. That's a big up in the air. I don't know anything about that. If you guys have ever tried that before, let me know that down in the comments below. I'd be very curious to know what your results of that were. I'm not sure if you answered this anywhere, but here's a big question. How long does this cleaning last before the ring showed up again? Well, since we made it this far into the video, how about I just show you? I haven't cleaned it since the last muriatic acid application. I did scrub it recently though, so it's nice and clean. And as you can see, there is some staining along the back. I'm not going to touch it again so you guys don't freak out, but there is some staining that has come back, although it's not as bad as it was previously, which is great. So yes, I guess it has been working and it seems to be lasting, and just, you know, some normal upkeep with cleaning and whatnot would help to keep it away, because you hopefully slough it off, but if it goes a little too long, that can happen. Last one comes from Cam Jam's dad. Jasco is a diluted muriatic acid. By swimming pool muriatic acid, it's much stronger. So this one, the one that I used, is Jasco Green. And yeah, they said it's a more diluted muriatic acid. If you guys want to try a swimming pool muriatic acid, I'll link that up down in the description as well, and you guys can go and try some of that. So after all is said and done, I want to know, what are some of y'all's results from doing toilet bowl cleaning, whether you used muriatic acid or not? I want to know what y'all's findings were whenever y'all were trying to clean your toilet bowls. Let me know that down in the comments below. We can kind of come together as a community of dads and people who like to keep stuff clean, and figure out what is the best way to get rid of that really tough lime scale mineral deposits, iron deposits, and all that on your toilet. I'd love to know y'all's things down in the comments below. If y'all want to watch more of our videos, I'm going to put some more videos right there on the screen. I'd love it if you guys watch more of our videos. Make sure to click that subscribe button right there in the middle if you want to get more of our videos. Thank you, dads, for watching. I hope this helps some of you guys out. If y'all know any other ways to get rid of this lime stuff, let me know down in the comments below that as well. Thank y'all for watching. Dad out.